Yeah, you know, it's been really interesting following this Richard Dawkins thing. If you're not aware, he's been, I suppose you could say, no platformed, or he's had his invitation withdrawn from the NECSS. He was due to speak to them. He was one of their main speakers, maybe their biggest draw card there. And then as a result of him tweeting a link to a video that was hosted on Sargon of Akkad's channel, but it was by Sci-10 Atheist, called something like Islamists and Feminists. As a result of him doing that, and I didn't actually think it was one of Sci-10's funniest videos, actually, because I quite like some Sci-10 stuff. As a result of him doing that, they've gotten rid of him. They've struck him off. And I don't really want to go too much into the specifics of the whys and wherefores and when they should have done that, but it's just really interesting how this has kind of developed, because you kind of have two groups there with regard to Islam and feminism that in different ways have kind of become above criticism. If you criticise Islam, it's seen in some way as racist. So the kind of thing that he did with Christianity for years and years and years, and got criticised for years and years and years for not doing the same kind of thing with Islam, now he does the same kind of thing with Islam, is criticised for doing the same kind of thing with Islam, because in some ways, I don't know, I suppose it's like the punching up, punching down bullshit, right? It's okay to generalise and say things which aren't literally quite true, as long as it's to the right group of people. Unless if it's the Catholics, you can just make shit up, right? But if it's with certain groups, then oh no, the old wagging fingers suddenly come out. And the same thing with feminists. Not that it's racism with feminists, but I suppose the claim is, I don't know, it's always kind of strange, isn't it? Feminists criticise patriarchy, right? And nobody should take that personally. Don't take that personally. It's patriarchy. It's not men that's being criticised, it's patriarchy. But criticise feminism of any description, and it's definitely women you're having a pop at, right? It's women that you're having a go at there. And so obviously that's absolutely out of order, and that's seriously controversial stuff, and we're punching down again now, aren't we? Which is the kind of part of this that I find really interesting here, in terms of how these things have evolved with regard to Richard Dawkins, and generally that it amounts to this kind of punching down mentality, which stems from comedy, but it now seemingly stems in this political sphere, in the socio-political sphere, and even in the sphere of religion. Even if you're a Richard Dawkins figure, right, a sort of militant-minded atheist, there's still sacred cows that you really shouldn't be criticising in the way that you were. Because it's regarded as punching down, which is a really weird metaphor in and of itself, isn't it? It's suggesting that it's fine, you should choose your target, choose who to punch based on size. If somebody's bigger than you, then punch with gay abandon, right? But don't punch anybody that's smaller than you. Can I suggest a better metric on where to punch is to punch where a punch is deserved, and don't punch where a punch isn't deserved. So that if you regard some factions of Islam as worthy of a punch, or some groups of feminists as worthy as a punch, then they're as worthy as a fucking punch as anybody else. And nobody who isn't in those groups should really take that should take offence at that. And the same happens with atheists. Perhaps a claim could be made that he didn't differentiate, or the video didn't differentiate between those feminists that deserve the punch and those feminists that don't, and those Islamists or those Muslims that deserve the punch and those Muslims that don't. But certainly if we look at some of the things that have taken place, such as Maryam Namaz's treatment at, I think it was Goldsmith's in London, where some Muslims really ruined what she had to say there, and it was the feminist society there came out backing them. You know, these things are actually happening, that sort of add the fuel to the fire of the satire that video was doing. And maybe it is a little bit generalising, that video, and maybe it was a bit of a misstep on Richard Dawkins' part, but by fuck if he hasn't done the same kind of thing over the years, and the same people who will kick up merry hell over something like this would turn an absolutely blind eye to it when he's done it in the past, or back him up when he's done it in the past. It is absolute bullshit, the way that some of these things turn out. Anyway, that's pretty much all that I wanted to say on this. Thank you for watching. Bye.